Sandra, top border officials from the previous three administrations have reportedly sent a letter to DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. The letter expressing outrage over punishing border agents accused of whipping migrants last September, despite being cleared of any criminal wrongdoing. Let's bring in Chad Wolf, former acting DHS Secretary under President Trump. This is a letter obtained by the Washington Examiner. It came from David Aguilar, Michael Fisher, Ronald Vitella, Rodney Scott. They said, "We collectively believe and point out that the statements made by President and Vice President predictively prejudge the desired outcome of the investigation and may therefore influence the case. Stating outright that there will be consequences presumes the result of an investigation. We ask that you and the deciding official ensure a fair and impartial review of the facts as U.S. Customs and Border Protection moves through this process." These are not partisans. These are civil servants, career civil servants who are saying, you're moving on this in a prejudicial fashion. You need to slow down.
Well, absolutely. And I served with several of them that spanned multiple administrations, Republican and Democrat. So absolutely, they're career individuals. But they're exactly right. The president and the vice president, I would even say the secretary, made comments that prejudge the outcome of an investigation. First of all, I don't think there should have been an investigation. It was very clear by the images and the picture and the individuals that were on site of what was occurring there. It was only when the president and the vice president said, there will be consequences to this behavior. Did an investigation occur at the end of the day? So look, that happened last fall. It's almost 9-10 months later, and there still has been no resolution. There's been no apology to these officers. These officers have been on administrative leave since that occurred. They deserve a speedy investigation. They will likely be cleared of this, and they should get back to work securing that border.
Well, one thing they're not getting is a speedy investigation, as you pointed out. We're seeing the images there, and the opinions that were formed by the president, the vice president, and the Secretary of Homeland Security. They were a result of erroneous reporting by news agencies who said that they witnessed migrants being whipped. The agents were just using long-range techniques to try to keep the horses under control and keep the migrants away from the horses. But here's what the president and his top lieutenant said in the immediate aftermath of that. Listen here.
Horses really running them over, people being strapped. It's outrageous. I promise you those people will pay.
It also evoked images of some of the worst moments of our history.
The horrific video of the CBP officers on horses using brutal and inappropriate measures against innocent people.
We will take actions that those facts compel. We do not tolerate any mistreatment or abuse of a migrant, period.
The Office of the Inspector General at DHS refused to investigate this. The indication was that there was no wrongdoing. So even if they are punished through administrative action, which it looks like they might be, what's the danger of doing that if there was no wrongdoing involved here? And the only thing that's happened is that the president and his top lieutenants have put themselves so far out on a limb that's not accurate that they feel they have to do something.
Well, there's a couple of things. Like 3 of the 4 individuals that you showed there have never been to the border. So the president, the vice president, the press secretary, they've never been to the border. They don't know.
Probably never used a long range either.
Right. They have no idea the mission of the Border Patrol. They know no idea about the environment there, what those horseback officers and agents do every single day. And for them to make a comment like this, it's irresponsible. And it goes to the morale of the Border Patrol, which we know is at an all-time low because of the administration's policies at the end of the day. So if you're not going to get them the tools and the policies they need to do the job to secure the border, the one thing you should do is actually probably be quiet on things you don't know about. The things that you see a video or you're reacting to a news article, instead of actually talking to the agents and officers, maybe you should visit the border. Maybe you should go on a ride-along with these officers to actually see what they have to deal with day in and day out. They don't do any of this, and they make these comments, and it's detrimental to the Border Patrol, their confidence, and everything that they're having to deal with. It's it's not a good situation.
And we all know, of course, the pressure that the Border Patrol is under, given the record numbers that we're seeing coming across the border. Chad, it was great to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
Sandra?
Okay, thank you very